Wasn't paying attention. Hi, this is Yvonne Wessa with Short Sale Advocates. I hope you had a great weekend and welcome to Monday. We're going to talk a little bit about the costs involved with a short sale. What does the seller pay, if anything, to introduce short sales again? It is an occasion when a seller from a homeowner needs to sell their home and the market value of the home is less than what will pay the mortgage. For instance, a home of $100,000 market value, the loan is $130,000. So selling the home on the regular market, on the traditional market, will not allow a closing because not enough money is coming in to pay off the mortgage. And what we've done for over 15 years is to be the negotiator on behalf of the seller to their lien holder, to have the lien holder take less for the home than the mortgage. It takes a variety of time. We have one that's going to probably close within 3 weeks from getting the offer or starting the short sale. That's record time. Normally, if there's any kind of FHA, VA, you can add an extra 3 months onto the process. So it could take anywhere from 4 to even 6 months. I think the things are getting a little more streamlined with most lien holders, but it just depends on the bank that's handling the deal. So currently, just yesterday, we had an investor who knows a family that just inherited a home. They don't want the home, they can't afford the home, but the investor called me, was recommended to me because the family has decided to clean the house out, take everything out of it, and let it go into foreclosure. That's just not necessary. I think people have the perception that might be just easier to walk away. But it's so much better for the house, especially in St. Louis, because once the utilities are off, that house gets moldy very quickly in the heat of the summer in St. Louis with no air conditioning and no utilities. So not only does the house become full of mold and unsaleable, but it's more difficult for the neighbors because having the house sit there vacant or even going into foreclosure is just really damaging to the neighborhood. So what's involved in that kind of a situation? The new owners, the inheritors of the home, merely fill out a third-party authorization and giving us permission to talk with the bank. The bank is happy to hear from us because they'd rather have a house in decent condition with someone buying it than to see it go into foreclosure and have it worthless, basically. So it's a very expensive and time-consuming process. So you add that $20,000 or $30,000 to the cost of even a $100,000 home, and that puts it way out of the range for an investor. And then it probably is only action is to short sale. So I think we'll probably be able to help the investor purchase the home once the family realizes that there is another option. So what does the seller pay for a short sale? For us, we don't charge the seller anything. Our method, which we've done for most of the time I've worked with short sales, is to have the buyer, through all disclosures to everyone, even online in the listing, agree to pay the short sale fee. They know this before they put the offer in, Um, Today, it's even a bigger bonus because buyers and investors are hungry for homes. There just are no homes available right now on the market. So the investor can contact us, secure a home, wait until the process is finished with the bank, and then they close with a pretty good deal and without competition. And it's really good for the house. So the seller pays nothing. There are occasions, even on a lot of closings, where maybe the homeowner is behind in homeowner association fees. Sometimes sewer bills have accumulated. And there are times when the lien holder, we negotiate those fees as well. We get third-party authorization to speak with the sewer company, with the homeowner association. So our service is to completely clear the house of all liens before we can close. And we try to make it as painless as possible for the homeowner. Pretty much once we're involved, the homeowner just sits and waits for our phone calls for updates, and we make it easy. Even the listing agent, once in a while they have to create an amendment, but basically after the first bunch of documents are submitted, there's very little to do. The homeowner may have to update some files. So we try to make it as easy as possible. It certainly isn't painful. Sometimes it is for us, but we kind of make it easy for the homeowner and the agents involved, and we appreciate our agents so much. So agents will refer us because all they have to do is follow the bouncing ball and kind of just wait for our updates. So we negotiate all of the liens against the house. There are some where maybe the bank will agree to take on $500 of the $1,000 that the homeowner owes for homeowner association. Well, what happens to the other $500? If we can't negotiate it completely away with the homeowners association, the buyer pays the difference. So they may pick up $100 or $200 for the homeowner association fee in order to close. Or we negotiate the sewer bill, and the same thing. The seller is not allowed by the lien holder to make these payments. So the buyer covers our fees, and sometimes there's a couple hundred, not often, but if there are any outstanding debts, the buyer can pick them up in order to finish making the deals so it will close. The advantages to the buyer are really great. They pretty much know everything they're going to have to pay in advance, and they get to agree or not agree. They have the option to get out of the deal at any time without any costs. Generally, we don't, if we're at the beginning of a file that might go 5 or 6 months, we generally don't take earnest money until within 5 days of lien holder acceptance. And that works great. We do mutual releases on the file, but there's no funds tied up. So it makes it a lot simpler. I have a case file for you. It's a little different. A home was put on the market and was for sale for about a year and a half. Had a couple of buyers, but there was a structural crack in one of the walls in the basement. And it took this time for it to expand, and a wall was sinking pretty quickly. This was a time when we had inordinate amounts of rain in the area. So the listing agent came to us. We listed it as a short sale, and we really had a feeding frenzy. We needed an investor who was a contractor, who had a team who could go in and shore up this wall, mitigate the damage, and get this house back established as a $400,000 property. Of course, the bank did not want to recognize that there was that much damage, but we were able to get a bid from a structural remediation company, sent that to the bank, and eventually they realized that they needed to work quickly because we were continuing to get rain in the St. Louis area, very destructive rain, where people who hadn't had any water in the basement were having water in the basement. And this has happened a couple of times over the last 3 or 4 years. So we did get a good, perfect contract, and we closed. It was about $65,000. That's what this contractor was able to purchase this house for. It would be expensive. He might have to invest $125,000 in order to shore up this wall to mitigate the structural damage. But by the same token, he will be able to rent out or resell, flip the home, and make some money. So this is just one example, a little bit different. I want to say, if you are about to miss a mortgage payment or you have missed a mortgage payment, please contact us as quickly as possible and let us see what we can suggest to help you avoid an auction date. There is a period of time after 3 months or 4 months where we cannot take the file because you, for sure, by the time we spend the time listing and finding a buyer, you have an auction date. That if you haven't done anything to attempt to settle the deal with your lien holder, you will go into foreclosure. So if you're even you think you're heading for issues, do give us a call or contact us online. So if you have any of these mortgage issues, we tell you all the time, we can handle these issues. Don't procrastinate. Contact us for information. Contact us www.shortsaleadvocatesllc.com or call us at 314-590-3785. And this is Yvonne Wessa with Short Sale Advocates. Enjoy your afternoon.